Hello to all my friends out there. Here we are again. I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope everyone is being careful, not going into any big crowds or taking unnecessary COVID chances. It's very dangerous. Okay, so tonight I made turkey burgers. And I bought the turkey burger at 99 cents only. So this is really good. I hope I don't drop my turkey burger. See, here it is. This is good. You got to get this recipe. Yummy. Get a notebook and write this in the notebook. I used to fry the turkey burger in bacon drippings, and that's really good. But if you use this, you don't really need that. This is much better. It took me years to find this. So I bought the turkey burger at 99 cents only for $2. It's 12 ounces, and this is enough for 3 meals. And I bought the mozzarella cheese. It calls for ricotta cheese, and I fried my turkey burger in some olive oil, and I sprinkled on some seasoned salt and some black pepper. So that's going to give you a really good turkey burger. And then, so I was telling my son, you know, we're pretty much extremely healthy, and I always tell my son, if we stay to our ways, chances are the future is going to be the same. So what I like is meat, potatoes, and vegetables. I mean, you can eat some junk. Usually I eat milk in the middle of the night, so I have a little pile of homemade potato salad. I use 1 potato for each egg, mayonnaise, mustard, pickle relish, pickle juice, and I use a little dry celery, and it's good left over. I've been using lemon salt. It's good, and minced onions. Fresh would have been better, but you know, that would require mincing. And then I've been you know, just having a lot of carrots because I have hummus. Hummus goes forever. Homemade is good, but you know, it's only $1. Now, I mean, how many nights now have I had hummus? A lot. And then I have zesty ranch dipping sauce and ranch dressing. So this is a very cheap meal, but it's a nice, well-balanced meal. Meat, potatoes, vegetables, that's it. Voila. Okay, I really use the pictures too. You guys may have noticed. Okay, so now, the garden is doing poorly. Very, very poorly. If you would like to see just how poorly, go to Rotostone Instagram. I have pictures of stuff I sell on eBay, pictures of the dog, you know, family photos, and everyone is welcome. And I do have a YouTube follower, Disabled and Prepping. Hi, way back there. I think she's in Colorado. Could you send me your address again? I want to send you the necklace, but my phone gets overloaded, and I forgot it was on there, and I deleted it, and I have a lot of messages, and I can't find it. And if you follow Instagram, follow me on Instagram, say hi from YouTube so I can say hi back. Okay, this morning I went to Walmart, and my entire plan was to buy some Diet Coke, the Walmart brand, and some Walmart brand bottled water, because it's very cheap, about 80 cents, and they were out of both. So I bought a Diet Coke, and you know, on the way home I swung by 99 cents only. And so in 99 cents only, they have a markdown bin. So, of course, let me show you what I bought. They had bananas, $1, markdown produce. I never noticed that when you buy bunches of bananas, they're $7. $1. I bought this, I buy this stuff anyway. Markdown, 50 cents. That'll come in handy. You know, I clean the toilets and the floors with anything. I'm not picky. And then, I've been looking for this stuff. This would be good in some soup or something that calls for cream. So I got 2 of these cans of, I don't know if it's more like cream or evaporated milk. I will check it out. So I'm being very, very cheap, you guys. And I bought cream of mushroom soup. This stuff always comes in handy. Look, they have easy beef stroganoff. Take a screenshot. Recipe. I'm going to save this. One of the followers left mushroom soup and pork chops recipe. I'm going to give it to you guys in a minute. Okay, so that's where I bought it, 99 cents only. It's still pretty hot here, but it's not unbearable. My friend always used, she had migraines, and she used to say it was the barometric pressure. I think that has something to do with it. The last few days were just miserably hot. It was just like maybe something to do, you know, we had a fire on one of the Navy vessels, and the whole city was all smoky. It dissipated finally. Okay, I have a $1 stockpile method that's a pretty good method actually. Okay, for $1, if you're new, you could buy rice, beans, and canned vegetables. That goes back to the story of the lady who was starving in a polygamy compound, and an old man came up to her and said, "Ma'am, your daughter is starving." It's not that they didn't know they were starving, they just probably didn't know how bad it was. And he gave her a bag of beans, a bag of rice, some vegetables, and told her to plant a garden. So I'm trying to do the gardening thing, but I have a lot of trees out here full of insects, and it looks like they ate all my leaves off. Okay, another combination would be oatmeal, milk, and canned fruit. You know, you could pick 1 or 2 up now and then, or peanut butter. And I bought packages of Bisquick, the $1 packages. I like those. They're good indefinitely. Tuna and crackers. I get the tuna I like at 99 cents only. And potatoes, $1 bag, and eggs, $1 package at Dollar Tree. So here is a good way to stockpile a little food if you're kind of new to it. Okay, so now let's get to these great comments. Okay, first of all, because of some of my comments, I expected to be attacked, and everybody was nice, so that was kind of nice. And so about 3 months ago, what I did is I changed my channel up, because when I was a kid, I used to love to hang out in my grandmother and aunt's kitchen when they were cooking. So I thought, I want to make my channel like I'm cooking dinner at night and we're chatting. And so what happened is it started to finally like work out, and the followers chatted back, and it was great. Okay, Alicia Mueller has her grandmother's recipe: macaroni, ground beef, diced tomatoes, cheese whiz, and salt and pepper. That is everything in the stockpile, and I am going to make that. Maybe tomorrow when I go to Walmart, I'll get some cheese whiz, and maybe I'll be able to find some Diet Coke, the Walmart brand, and some water. Okay, enlightened by grace, and thank you guys, everybody's comments, not just these. There was just a lot of super lovable comments too. Enlightened by grace, and those are nice, they're uplifting. Sausage, potatoes, onions and carrots, paprika, and bay leaf. So everybody has their own spin on the hash, and the carrots, paprika, and bay leaf could really improve your hash. Melissa Petir, when she first bought a house 6 years ago, and you can go to my Twitter where I post videos. There's a lot of good videos and recipes and stuff. When she bought a house, how she stretched out her money. If I bought toilet paper, soap, sugar, flour, oats, or whatever, whatever she brought, she took a little bit in the prepping cupboard. So she would take a little bit out and save it. A little bit of food and money is better than none. She saved her chicken bones and veggie scraps for broth and soup. These don't seem like a big deal, but they are. Write them in your notebooks and start doing this immediately. I certainly will be. Barbara Fowler. Big thanks, Barbara. She's left a lot of good comments. Here it is. Gravy with mushroom soup. Glad I bought this. I pan-fried pork chops, then mix soup with pan drippings and 1/2 cup milk, mashed potatoes, or stuffing. That'd be good. I always wondered how people made that good mushroom gravy. I really didn't know. I hope I'm pronouncing this toki. My mom was able to make ends meet by eating really dirt cheap meals through the weekdays, and Friday and Saturday fairly decent meals. I thought that's a good idea, instead of just like eating cheap meals all the time. Maybe you have a little bit better meals on Friday and Saturday. Okay, and then, this was really good. Alaska Prepper, if you guys are not subscribed, subscribe. He has 2 infant formula recipes. I put those on my in my notebook just in case. And so I didn't know, it didn't occur to me you could make infant formula out of rice milk, but I had made rice milk, and the way I did it, his is good. His is good. Go on there, Alaskan Prepper. I put it on my Twitter. But what I did is I just took 1/2 cup of rice and I boiled it until the water was like rice milk. Then I took that milk out and I added more water until there was just nothing left. And I would get about 4 cups of rice milk that way. And you could put a little handful of fruit like raisins or some kind of fruit and a little oil. And I looked, so you would have a little sugar, a little, because lactose is milk, sugar, and fat. And I looked up for babies olive, avocado, or coconut oil. You could look into that. I'm not saying to do that, but in the event of an emergency, keep it in the back of your mind. So thank you guys for the great, that's what I was hoping was going to happen when I started this. And then, I have some cookies, Walmart oatmeal. And what I did is I made 3 cups of milk and I put it in my yogurt container because we're supposed to have about 3 cups of milk. And then if I eat cereal in the middle of the night and there's any left, I drink it down. But this is good for babies too. I drink this myself. It's only 1/4 cup of this stuff per 1 cup of milk. So it's, makes a lot of milk. When I started using this is I was working in a salon, and one of the men who escaped out of Iraq was telling me that's what they drank during the war, which, a lot of people have suffered a lot of hardship. Okay, so now what? Okay, so one of the followers said, and this was a comment, the news is really depressing, and it is really. I heard something that was kind of depressing, and it said what they want to do is stop letting businesses run air conditioning. And I mean, after it was so stifling hot here, I thought, yeah, that figures, because it spreads the COVID around. And I thought, yeah, all the businesses except Walmart. So that was some depressing news. And also I have potato chips would be good with this too. Okay, so now there was a little bit of depressing news. This was real depressing. The Glee star Naya Rivera died, and she went out on a pontoon boat with her son, And I remember doing that once with my son when he was a little baby. He was younger than 4. And, you know, it was like a little motorboat, and we went all over, you know, we had a good time. But that night I got home and I had nightmares and nightmares that the baby had sunk to the bottom of the lake, and I couldn't find him. And so I can really see how this happened, and that was some pretty bad news. So if you guys didn't hear, Naya Rivera drowned, it looks like. They say she managed to, I guess they were swimming in the water. I didn't get out of the water, but you know, I was going pretty fast around in that little boat. I wouldn't suggest that for fun family outings. And then John Travolta's wife, Kelly Preston, died very young of breast cancer. And I felt really bad for him. His girlfriend, Deanna Hyland, died in 1977, and his son Jet died in 2009. It's horrible. I don't care how rich you are. That is really, really horrible. And he's one of my favorite stars too. I love all his movies. It isn't easy, you know, being rich and famous. And then now for a really awful one, Lisa Marie's Presley's son died of a suicide, and I felt so bad for her. And they had Marie Osmond on there, and I felt really bad for her all over again too. And I've said so many times, it's so incredible. Born of Elvis, married to Michael Jackson. I mean, how could that happen to one person? But then, you know, it's like John Travolta. You look at this kind of stuff, Elvis died young, Michael Jackson died young, and now her son, and it's just like, oh my gosh. So that was some bad news. That's horrible. My son's friend was murdered about 2 years ago. We're still not over it. It's horrible. I was just thinking about that today. That's one reason I don't get rid of these beat-up couches. When my son first moved out, my ex-husband bought these 2 couches, and the friends would lay all over them and, you know, play games and stuff. And it was just so depressing on Halloween, so I don't really like Halloween anymore. Okay, so now I want to mention about these prophetic dreams. And I thought, you know, really something about, you know, prophetic dreams kind of bothers me. Well, I think I got to the bottom of it. Okay, one of the things that is a no-no for Christians is precognition or future fortune telling. So, you know, we have to watch out, you know, for these prophetic dreams. Most of the ones I've heard were pretty common sense stuff. But, you know, prophetic dreams is very close to precognition. And it's linked to psychic ability and paranormal phenomena. So that's not a good thing. I posted a video for you guys to see, and it's called Monkey Business, How COVID-19 Impacted the Local Species in Thailand. And what it is that the tourists are attracted by these monkeys, and they feed the monkeys, and the monkeys run all over the place. But now, because of the COVID, nobody's going to this tourist place, and the monkeys are just really hungry, and they're just a mess, and they've been eating junk food, and it's awful. You can see the video on my Twitter if you haven't seen it. Okay, sometimes it's things like to just cut out. So this is like strange too. This is like I posted a video by a doctor, and he said part of the problem is when people are cohabitating very close to animals like chickens, like ducks. I've heard of somebody who did a magic trick, and their magic trick, they kissed the chicken's beak, and they got a terrible infection and almost died. I think that was Vietnam. And then the pigs drink the water that the ducks were in, and they get parasites. I know someone who almost died from pigeon feces. So these monkeys are just all over, and if you've known anyone who's had a monkey, they can be dirty. You know what I'm saying? You know, urine and feces. And so their solution is to sterilize the monkeys. And I thought, why not just euthanize some of the monkeys? Well, that would be cruel, but I felt sorry for those monkeys. So if you want to see that. Okay, so now a couple more things, because you know it's like we're hanging out. All of my stuff doesn't have to be, I mean, you know, there's no merit to some of it. Okay, Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney has asked that she should be released from prison. And they're saying no because she's a flight risk. But, you know, look what happened to Epstein. You know, dead men tell no tales. So we're doing the thing of, okay, last year at the beginning of the COVID, they had Epstein, who was murdered, supposedly. I mean, killed himself. We don't really know. We saw them carry him out. As to whether he was really dead or not, that we don't know. They said the coroner said he had, you know, a broken neck, and we don't know that either, but that was what was said. Nonetheless, supposedly he was heard screaming for help, and supposedly the camera wasn't on, and supposedly the guards were sleeping. So I would say Ghislaine Maxwell would be in extreme danger of being murdered because dead men tell no tales. She could be brainwashed. Usually they starve you out with malnutrition for a while and deprive you of sleep. Could they do that to her? Oh, sure, yeah. If she had information that they really wanted to get, she could be the suicide bullet that Epstein left behind, so they might want to murder her. Like, who could she have dirt on? Prince Andrew. I doubt that because they were friends for a long time. I don't know. She doesn't strike me as a squealer, but you never know. We'll see. She could have dirt on President Clinton and Hillary and Trump. So she could be sleep deprived, terrorized verbally, or else exhausting interrogations. I used to know some people that were incarcerated, and it's not pretty what can happen. Intense interrogation, rough treatment, shoving, yanking, unnecessary body searches, and they could let other inmates assault her. That's saying we trust them after what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Another thing, you know, to do with her, her victims, aren't these the same people who got the dirt on all kinds of rich and famous people? Wasn't that like their job description? I don't know if they could be trusted or not. I'd say not. Okay, so that's what's happening there. That's just some thoughts on that. I'm not saying, you know, I'm just saying her accusers could be being paid off $1 million, you know, is pretty attractive to people who are paid to do some slimy stuff. Okay, so it's July 14th. Starting tomorrow, I told you I usually don't spend much money on the weekends, but between the 14th and the 20th, that's Monday, I will be spending very little money, and I will tell you what money I spend. Okay, I'm not a Nazi. I might buy a Coke, I might buy some bottled water, but basically I'm spending very, very little money. If I find some kind of cheap deals at the 99-cent store, I might buy those, but basically I don't need anything and I'm not spending any money. So if you do this kind of stuff habitually, then you're going like a week out of the month without spending any money. Or if you did this twice a month, that could really help out too. Okay, now I just want to mention low-income housing. A lot of people might need low-income housing, and so I thought, wow, the worst place you could ever try to get low-income housing would be San Diego, California. People, don't come here. It's very, very expensive. Also, we have a lot of risk factors. We have the border, 100,000 people cross per day. We have the military, and we also had massive protests, and we also had massive people at the beach. And I would expect a massive outbreak of the COVID. We'll see, I hope not. But it's also very, very expensive. So the most friendly low-income housing would be Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, New Hampshire, Iowa, Vermont, North Dakota, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Arkansas. One could relocate, you know, the grand solar minimum's coming, that's scary. But maybe relocate to a place where you can get the housing. Out here, there's like motor homes all over because people are paranoid, and rightfully so. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.